Well, hello there. It's yours truly, the Dark Queen. And I would totally appreciate if you could like and subscribe, and for my birthday, possibly share. But today I thought I'd talk about something that's just... it's really kind of troubled me. I mean, I went to Donkey Lady Bridge, and you've seen the episode. It's troubling enough, but this is just far more... I don't know, sinister. Frightening and terrifying to a certain extent. And the thing is, I feel so alone. And when you think about it, when you truly think about what lingers in the darkness, if you will, I always thought we had the standard. You know, other than Donkey Lady, the Dancing Devil. I said, what else in San Antonio is there? And so I started writing another book, and it's going to be illustrated, and I'm more of the illustrator in the book. I'm working with my sister. It's a great project, right, for us to bond as sisters and things of that extent. We've always been, as sisters, we always bonded over, you know, the paranormal and things like that. And I thought I'd cover things that I really didn't care for personally. And I said, well, finally, I'll do it. I will cover the San Antonio Asylum. And, you know, for me, people as a young girl who would go to, you know, people that were neighbors, that were friends of friends, I would ask, you know, about their paranormal experiences and things like that. And they would talk about the San Antonio State Asylum. And it was just a standard, you know, they would trespass and, you know, the neighbors would fire 2 warning shots with a shotgun, and they would feel that exhilaration of trespassing, and, you know, it would be so, they would talk about the adrenaline rush and the standard, you know, when they got there, they could see the files of the ex-patients and things like that. And, you know, it was somewhat fascinating, but it just didn't allure to me. There was no monster. There was nothing of pure significance, if you will. And so, you know, I heard the standard, the moans, the cries, the pleas for help, you know, and once again, the papers of the patients that attended there. And to me, it was more like, go to experience the paranormal. And I really just didn't care to, you know, trespass and go through all of that, through fences, you know, dodging shotguns, and that's just not really my approach. And there's no monster, so it was sort of a thank you sort of experience on the paranormal, but it was nothing that fascinated me or drove me, you know, wild with wonder. And so I decided I would finally cover the content. And, but I'd only be going in as an illustrator. And, what can I say? I've heard a lot of things about winged, creatures in Texas as far as sightings and things like that. And I had once read about a gargoyle sighting, and I was like, well, you know, that's possible. I mean, if you think about it, we have a lot of canyons and things like that where it's possible an animal could, you know, live. I'll be open-minded, if you will. And I finally went back to looking up the San Antonio State Asylum, and as an illustrator, you really want to kind of get a real-life scale. And so I started looking at photos and, you know, just kind of moving through them until I saw this one that just seemed the creepiest, if you will. And I was just like, okay, I like the tree. It's dead. It's very conjuring. And, you know, it was at an abandoned time. So even more so, I was like, I think this is a picture I want to go based off of. And, you know, it's not perfect as far as the way I drew it because I was very much rushed. But looking at the picture so many times, you know, I kept trying to not see, you know, certain things. Like when you're working with art, you don't always want to look at things as far as how your mind imagines it. If I see a square, it may not be a square. It may just be 4 lines. to make it more simplistic on the shapes and things like that. And so you kind of look at it a little bit differently. And so when I went in, I was looking at the structure, I was looking at where the tree was, I was looking at, you know, I just really wanted to fixate on the tree and the building because the angle was creepy, the tree was somewhat creepy, and I really didn't focus on what was within these items. And so, you know, why don't we talk about the building? Well, the building looks abandoned, it looks crappy, it looks like it's been highly neglected. And then, you know, I'm thinking, when this picture was taken, it was taken several hundred feet, you know, probably away from the building to get the whole scale with the tree. Was it for the news? Did somebody just take a picture of it? I have no clue. But you can clearly see, and I'm already getting goosebumps talking about it, you can see someone looking out the window. And they are wearing like a sweater. And my whole thing is, how is it that someone knew to tell this individual, hey, look out the window while I take the picture? To synchronize that, you would have to be able to call them and snap the, you know, the photo and say 1, 2, 3 or right now, and they would both be on the phone, and the picture would either be Schweckel, which is crooked, or something of that extent, which it's not, but someone is looking out the window. And so I didn't notice that until I started looking at the windows and how they were drawn. And it was, what makes it so creepy is that when I started drawing the building, when I started thinking of how I was going to scale the windows, I then ran into it when I was doing the final window, and I was like, was that there this whole time? And that's just one thing. I mean, that's just one thing, right? And I was just like, that's weird. Okay, there's ghosts. Okay, whatever. You know, they're ghosts. And we got to get over that, right? This is why we're doing the book. So I'm just chilling, and I'm saying, now it's time to work on the tree. And I start looking at I start working my way up, and I start looking at the tops of the tree, and I'm like, okay, this should be easy. And then all of a sudden I see it, and I'm thinking, that is not what I think I see. This is in my mind. I'm hallucinating. You know what? I'm not being logical. This is what I want to see. I want to make it out to be more than what it is. You know, the logical side of my brain is that I have an expectation to pursue doing a paranormal book that's illustrated. I'm seeing an image that is manifesting because I want to see it, right? That's what I'm assuming. And so I go in and I'm just like, this is incredibly, what I'm looking at is not a ghost. It's not anything normal. I'm like, this is what I want to see. It's a monster. This is a monster, but I don't see it. I'm hallucinating, or it's just manifesting. And so I'm talking with one of my friends who very much is into spirituality. She has a lot of different friends that, you know, of various different theologies, you know, and different beliefs and religions. And we definitely, you know, me and her, we talk about, you know, we compare things, we, you know, go over different beliefs and things like that, because it's so fascinating. We do it in such a respectful manner. It's so cool, like the way we talk, and, you know, but, you know, she is very versed in the paranormal and, you know, different types of things, and, you know, in regards to voodoo. I mean, she's very much a subject matter expert in various, you know, religions and things like that, and practices and things. So anyways, you know, I'm just thinking, this is me. I'm just getting hyped for the book. It's all in my mind. And then I say, hey, I want you to take a look at this picture I'm going to send you. Tell me what you see in the trees. And you don't, looking at it from afar, you just kind of glance over and you're just like, it's just a building with a tree. But when you look from an artist's perspective, you see something different. you see something in the trees. And the scariest part is it's not even in the trees. It's like hovering in the tree to almost like be the tree. And that is what freaks me out. Like, I'm getting goosebumps again just talking about it. Like, I'm trying not to choke up right now, because it makes you really think about how haunted San Antonio is. I mean, it freaks me out. And I kid you not, a year or 2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna do a video on the San Antonio status. Everybody's done a video. Everybody talks about it. But no, look at this picture and tell me what you see. Because I will guarantee you, we talked about it and I said, what do you see? I want to make sure I'm not, seeing more than what there is. Can you look at it for me? And she's like, that's a goat demon. That's a goat demon levitating. You can see its little hoof. I thought I was hallucinating. And she told me exactly what I was seeing. And the creepiest part is I feel like I'm so alone that I'm seeing this picture. Well, now she's seen it, but nobody's ever mentioned it, which is even creepier. Like, I feel like I needed to get this off my chest, before the book comes out. It's just something incredibly eerie, and it's what the funniest thing is that it's another website talking about how haunted the insane asylum is, and they're just using a picture, and they're not even, really focusing on the picture, on how haunted it is. There's no arrows, and we have so many paranormal groups. I'm just like, what is going on? Is nobody seeing this? I feel like I'm Mugatu from Zoolander. Am I taking crazy pills? Because I've yet to see anything of that particular magnitude, where it's a goat demon thing that, but I guess, can fly, and a thing, unfortunately, a manifestation, looking out the window. Is he held prisoner? Well, I'm assuming, the gender, which I shouldn't, but I'm just saying, the ghost, is it a prisoner of the goat thing? I don't know, but I know that I'm incredibly freaked out about it, that nobody's, for one, talked about it, that the San Antonio State Asylum has apparently a goat demon, and then, unfortunately, the manifestation of this spirit. And, I really wish I could be a better storyteller on how, but I'm kind of freaked out. You see the whole, like, issue I have going on here? But I thought I'd tell you guys about it for your Halloween scare. And, I know I'm freaked out about it, and I really needed to get it off my chest, as far as that. But, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Take a like, share, and subscribe for this video, and I will be doing more videos. This is my first winged creature video. There will be a part 2 where I will be talking about more stuff, and, but I promise you, it won't be as creepy and as crazy as this one. But please, like and subscribe. This is the Dark Queen, and thanks for watching.